I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Fruit and Vegetable Magazine, reporting to you here today from the 50th Annual Conference of the California Association of Pest Control Advisors. One of the featured speakers here today was Zheng Wang from the UC Cooperative Extension. He's a Vegetable Crops Advisor based in Stanislaus County. It's always great to visit with you, and one thing you got to know about Zheng is that he is the leading advisor on melons, probably for the whole West. And so I wanted to talk with you about some of the problems that watermelon growers have been dealing with, particularly in the past couple of years, as growers are trying to expand their market, expand their season, starting earlier and extending later to meet consumer needs. I mean, it's a very valuable thing, but we have come up with some issues with some pests and diseases. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Matthew. Thanks for meeting with me, and I'm really excited to be here. Yes, you're right. So for watermelon season, now the growers want to enter the market earlier, so a lot of plantings comes much earlier than the past. We have seen that in the northern San Joaquin Valley, a lot of the plantings happen in March, where the wet weather and also the cool temperature is also provide some challenges for the transplants to build up in the soil. At the same time, we had some kind of a chilling damage. We may also have some of the early season, the pest problems, especially soil-borne. So some of the pathogens that were not common on watermelons in the past few years now emerge in the watermelons, like a Fusarium based. It's not the Fusarium wilt, but some other stem and root route based pathogens, where growers may not have a lot of treatments to deal with these problems. So we are here just doing some kind of a trials and experiments and trying some of the, for example, the biological-based preventive biofungicide and the use of the grafting to take the best use of the rootstocks on the multi-pathogen resistance. So we currently now had a pretty good solution and pretty good information that we can inform the growers to take on and to deal with some of these issues.
And then on the late side of the season, especially in a year like this when it's been really hot,
Exactly.
We even had over 100-degree weather in October. What kind of problems are growers seeing in expanding the season? I know we don't always have years like this, but tell us about it.
Yeah, so that's exactly right, Matthew. So I keep saying that in our region, the watermelon is a 6-month crop from March or April all the way to October, depending on the weather. But especially this year, we had a pretty high temperature even when we come into the October. So we can see that a lot of mid to late season insect and bugs are coming to make the damages on the canopy and then the fruit, which blocked the continuous productivity on a lot of watermelon field. For example, we have seen the spider mites in the few years from, it's probably starting 2021. I've got calls from PCAs that the spider mites becomes an issue in the northern San Joaquin Valley, especially in the kind of eastern part of the county and also with the border of the Merced area. So we have the growers in the reporting that spider mites issues. And then also we had issues this year. We found this similarly cucumber beetles, which this one was not an issue in our area. It's more in the northern part of the melon production. But in our region, we started to have this one, and we can see that the damage on the skin and make that the melons and totally unmarketable, especially mid to late season. So those are really some headache to the growers and also to the PCAs as well.
Yeah, and for that, you said it was the larvae, right, of the cucumber beetle, which usually we all recognize the cucumber beetle, but the larvae is a little different, right?
Exactly. So I didn't see the adults, but most of people understand is the adults make some damages. But now what we see in the season is the larvae. They're only just chewing on the skin of the watermelons.
On the underside.
On the underside, yeah, exactly. It's just the kind of underside side. When you roll the melons, you can see the skin damage was really bad.
And that's just not marketable.
It definitely is. It's totally unmarketable. Yeah.
So, it seems like we're having some high pressure of pests and insects in the late season. You said spider mites. And is that more of a late season issue that growers are seeing?
Exactly. It's a mid to late season as well. So especially we have some pretty sandy soil where if a field is close to the roadside with the driving vehicles and the dirt comes up. So those dirt and sandy soil are really just additive effects and to make this spider mites becomes worse.
Well, that being said, growers are always going to be trying to push the limits of what we can accomplish, especially when things are market driven. The consumers want these things. We have the tools necessary to support keeping these extended seasons, earlier and later. Do we have the tools we need to combat these issues?
Well, Matthew, I have to say we're on the way of doing that. We have some preliminary, I can call it the solutions, and then the preliminary data on that, but definitely we need more data to be fed and to find the solutions. But we have some kind of recommendations from our farm advisors at UC Crop Extension, and we have our UCIPM website that people can go and check. So definitely there are some resources, but we are refining them as the season progresses, as the issues becomes, innovation or something. We are always try to catch time with the disease, with the pathogens, and when they're growing.
Well said. Well, thank you so much. I think we need 10 of you, right, to make sure we get all this information out to the industry. So thank you for all that you do. Yeah. Read more about these things in California Fruit and Vegetable Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.